That's like a team we could worry about for the playoff spot.
Panthers
for the
or
Lions.
Seattle?
Seattle.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Panthers. Yeah, it's 27-17 Panthers.
So we want to see the Seahawks lose.
Hey everybody, happy Sunday night. Welcome to NFL Tonight. No, it's actually the BOGP Open Line here in just a second. We're just getting things wrapped.
How about those Lions? 4 out of 5.
5 out of 6, right?
Maybe it is 5 out of 6. I'm
on NFL.
Losing to the Bills on Thanksgiving, man. Just like if we miss the playoffs by one game, like that's gonna kill me.
You'll make it. You'll make it. That way you can have a game at the Silver Dome.
I miss the Silver Dome.
So
what they have in Detroit is cool now with like 4 fields right next to Comerica, Little Caesar Arena. I mean, it's a cool like area now. Like all 4 franchises play down there. But I miss like the Silver Dome because like you didn't have to deal with like the downtown traffic of Detroit. It was in Pontiac, and then the Palace of Auburn Hills. That's where the Pistons played in Auburn Hills, and that was like an easy drive to get to, like a huge parking lot, easy to get out. But now you got to like deal with Detroit traffic.
I couldn't imagine if like 2 or 3 of the teams playing at the same time.
It happens, so it will happen. Like, I mean, the Lions and Tigers for sure will have same like Sunday home games, and it's a nightmare. It's so bad.
Yeah, I remember because the Rams and the Cardinals used to play at the same time.
Now, so you couldn't because the Red Wings and the Pistons share the arena, so they will never play on the same night. So the most you're really ever going to get is 2, maybe. Yeah, because basketball and hockey would never be playing when baseball's happening. So
yeah, that's true. Okay, that's the tweet here.
But still, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, I wish the Cardinals would move out of downtown. It's such a hassle to get down there.
I did some treadmill running today.
I did some treadmill walking.
My first run, I ran my first over a 5K distance in a little bit. So
you did 15 miles?
No, I did 4.25.
That's good. That's a lot for your first one, though.
Yeah, and I was doing 60-60. It's not what I normally do when I'm out running, but on the treadmill, because I hate changing the speed so many times.
Seriously, you got to do longer intervals.
So I do 60-60 when I'm on the treadmill. And then I was doing 3.3 walk, and I started at 5 run. And then every 15 minutes, I bumped both of those up 1. And then I was for the last 10 minutes, I'm going to go harder. So I was going 5.8 for my runs. And I was feeling it for me, man. That's fast for me.
I walk on 3.3 is what I walk on, and then I usually run at 6.2. Or
I would be dead. I would be dead if I was running at that. Oh my god!
But I mean, it took me a while to get there. That's why my knees hurt, though. But see, I can't do intervals because then you're just
Yeah, I don't mind the interval. I mean, I have to. I just can't. My chest.
Well, no, I know. I'd hear you though, but it's rough on your because on a treadmill, mine slows you down fast.
Oh yeah.
Because sometimes I have to stop because I'm I could probably make it to use the restroom, and then it's nope. You hit pause. The other thing's
when I go to the run, when I go from the run to the walk, because I'm always walking in the 3.3 to 3.6 range. I'll take it to 4, and then I'll slowly
That's a good idea. I should do that.
I don't take it to 3 because that's a huge difference. Yeah.
Ones at the hotel, they ease you down. The ones when I'm at a hotel or something, they're better treadmills, I guess. And they kind of ease you down. This one, man, if you hit pause, it just you just whoa. It locks you up anyway.
I did have one of those where I slipped a little today. I always have this fear I'm going to slip, and then I'm going to hit my head on the home base, and they're going to fall.
I'm always worried. I always have a plan. I'll just scream into my watch, call 911.
I mean, you're supposed to wear that thing, clip it to you, right? So I
have that
fall, and then it turns off the.
Yeah, I don't clip it to me, but it's in front of me.
And mine's just dangling.
I accidentally bump it sometimes, and
I do too. Yeah,
off when you're not expecting it, that catches your attention.
Yeah, it does.
Anyway, this is Treadmill 101 for everybody. Okay,
let's a good podcast. That's a good episode.
Let's do a podcast. Hello to James Brooke, who has started all this because she's on the tready. Rondely up in Canada. Let's see. Yeah, if you call in, just turn your volume down. That way there won't be a delay. That would be good. Justin's out in Cleveland. Is it Skilla? out in Philly. 12-1 Eagles. James said, yeah,
12-1 Eagles.
that's okay to not run tonight if you've been working 10 hours.
12-1 Eagles means there's a happy moose.
Yeah, no kidding. Snow. I need some snow. There's a possibility we could have a white Christmas. They're starting to say it's going to get colder, so that'd be awesome. Probably not. We never get them, but it'd be great. Margie's here. Hello, Margie. And hello to Sarah. Oh, it's Priscilla. Okay, cool.
I just hooked up remember I was talking about the internet? Like I got like a new like modem sent to us by the supplier. I just hooked it up. So
dude, it's clear. It's smooth right now.
Yeah, and I did a test beforehand, so should be good.
Knock on wood, because it was kind of breaking up. We did our show Thursday. A little bit, not much, just a little. It's solid as a rock right now. So all right, let's do this. I'll pull up some news here. Let's see if Ricky did her job real quick.
I'm trying to think, is there some news?
It's a slow time because like everybody's taking off for news.
It's awful because I think I talked about this on the last show. Like it's a slow time in corporate world because people are taking time for the holidays. But then there's like year-end deadlines. Like I need those people to approve stuff, you know. And then they're like all gone for the rest of the year. It's awful.
I'm checking out. Well, do what they say. We'll circle back at the beginning of the new
year.
Yeah,
like, oh, can this be pushed to January? Like, no, I got December 31st deadline.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, Howell runs a pro style. We throw the ball a ton, and we RPO too. Okay, here we go. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line for Sunday night, December 11th, 2022. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Hello to everybody who is tuned in live here on Facebook or YouTube as we close out yet another busy December weekend. Thanks for tuning in live, and we'll be taking your calls live here in just a few minutes at 407-413-9395, talking about all things Disney. But joining me, as we do every Sunday night, and he's celebrating an anniversary today. So when you call in, you got to say happy anniversary to Scott and Liz. It's my buddy. It's not our anniversary, but it's him and Liz. It's Scotty G. What's up, Scott?
Not our anniversary, no. But yeah, it's the 13th anniversary. And shortly before we went live today, I was just scrolling through Twitter like I do, you know, trying to catch up on stuff. And I saw this tweet retweeted that said Happy Psycho Day. And it had like this like screenshot. And I'm assuming it's from the movie, the Alfred Hitchcock movie Psycho, which I've seen a few times, but I can't remember this exact still. But it says Friday, December the 11th in the still. So that must be like when the events take place, like in the movie Psycho, which is funny because I got married on Friday, December the 11th. Like, I don't know if it's a good sign or not, Mike. But
never seen that movie, but I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I've never seen the movie. So that's I've also heard on social media today, I saw that it is also Magnum PI Day.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know what that's about either. I have no idea because I didn't ever watch it. As much as I love Blue Bloods and Tom Selleck and Commissioner Reagan, yeah, I don't know why.
I like Tom Selleck in that show because he's usually sporting a Detroit Tigers hat.
He is. It's true. That is true. Yeah, and the Hawaiian stuff. Yeah. The cool car. So what's been going on? Anything
you know, so I knew we were going to record the show tonight. You know, we don't like to miss episodes as much as we can. We know we got some time coming off for the holidays. So we did a anniversary lunch. So we went to a nice little spot where it's kind of family style. It's not like it's not Buca di Beppo, but it's kind of similar where like you order a bunch of Italian dishes and they bring them out family style. Much better in my opinion. But just a cool local spot. We were the only people in the restaurant, which was funny. They opened at 2 and we were right there at 2.
Nice.
And they were like playing, and they knew it was our anniversary, so they started playing like some low, like Italian music, like in the background. Like it was kind of fun. Like I
must have some Bella Notte, you know.
Yeah, I know. I should have put it in the request for it. But the best part was like the reason we kind of chose this because I don't know if you like carrot cake or not, Mike, but
I don't
this place has the best carrot cake I've ever had. So most carrot cakes kind of, from my experience, come out kind of like cold or lukewarm. Here it comes out like very warm, and they put this like cream cheese frosting like all over the top of it. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see a photo of it, and it is just out of this world. And they gave us a complimentary one tonight for our anniversary, so that's pretty nice.
Sounds very Disney that you get a free dessert for your
Yeah. Well,
exploration.
and they went one up, like all of a sudden we could like smell something. We're like, what is that? And then it's like this giant sparkler. Like our server is holding the sparkler. She handed the sparkler to Elizabeth, so I took a photo of her like holding the sparkler, like with the carrot cake. It was kind of funny, but yeah,
you got to get that for the gram so they know what's going on.
exactly. I know.
Perfect.
I tagged them in the photo. So
See, they're no dummies. They're no. We're living in the age of social media. All right.
Exactly.
We have our first call of the night. So, hey, who is joining us? Thanks for calling in at 407-413-9395. What's going on?
Yeah, good evening, Mike. Scotty G. This is Chris calling from Central North Carolina.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for calling in.
Well, thanks. Question. First visit to the world in 5 years. Has anything changed there?
Nothing. No, it's exactly the same. Yeah, I can't imagine anything's changed at all. It might be a new roller coaster here soon, but that's about it. No, so yeah, obviously everything.
Any tips for somebody who hasn't visited since pre-COVID?
Well, so
tips, if you will.
So you've been listening to the shows, right? I mean, so we do have like a baseline, like of theme park reservations, all that kind of stuff. So you just first thing is get those early. You can always modify those as you get closer to the travel dates. The question I get though, Chris, about those, just real quick about that, just so folks that are tuning in, because they might not really even know this strategy, because I do get this question a lot from guests over at the Magic for Less is, a lot of folks will book a trip now and they'll be traveling in November of 23 and they'll say, when should I make my theme park reservations? Right? Because we all know that you make your dining reservations at 60 days. They give you a day, but theme park reservations, you can make them immediately for forever, far out. And I tell my guests, make them as soon as you can. I mean, it's not super urgent, like 10 months out, but make them as soon as you can. And they're always like, well, I don't know what park I want to go to. I don't know park hours. I don't know, I don't know where I'm going to eat dinner. But here's the thing. What I say is for that initial group of park reservations, just say, look at it this way. Like I like to go to Epcot on the first day of my trip. Okay. So I'm going to go to Epcot on day one. Then I want to go to the parks. And then I want to make sure I go to the Magic Kingdom twice, but I want to go to the Magic Kingdom last. That's where I want to go to my last morning. So, okay. So then I'm going to go to the Magic Kingdom last day and I'm going to put another day at the Magic Kingdom and just work it around like that. And then later on, as we get park hours and maybe extended evening hours, if you're staying at a deluxe hotel, your dining starts to come into focus a couple months out. Then you go in and change things, but at least you have a good base to kind of get started. That's what I'd say for theme park reservations for everybody. Like when you're super far out, that way you have something. It's not your final. It's like a rough draft of theme park reservations. So Scott, what do you have for Chris though for 5 years? I mean, what are you thinking?
I mean, you nailed it for me, Mike. The biggest thing from going pre-COVID to now would be the theme park reservations. That's the biggest one. But I would just say, like, depending on, I don't know if you said, Chris, when your trip was, but I would just say, like, pack your patience a little bit because it's been busy. Like, everyone's traveling now. Everyone's going to Walt Disney World. So, like, some of those old strategies about, like, rope dropping, I think it's very critical if you're trying to get a lot of things done. So, rope dropping the day. And I would recommend Park Hopper, too. I know it's a little added expense, but the fact that if tying it into the theme park reservations, if you can't get the one you want, I have not heard of anyone being shut out for Park Hopper after 2:00. So you should be good to transfer then to any park that you want to.
So give us a little background on your trip. Actually, like when is it and what are some of the plans?
Heading Friday, actually. It'll be our 5th trip over the years. So traveling with teens who've pretty much seen everything and done everything with the exception of the stuff from the last 5 years, like Avatar and some other rides. Wishing Tron was open, but obviously that's not happening. I did have a tip for you guys for the TSA travel pre-check. My wife has TSA travel pre-check, and one of her children are flying with her. And if you call the airline, they could add the known traveler number to the child's boarding pass, so they can both go through the pre-check line.
That's a great tip.
It's
one of those things that I tell myself I don't travel enough to get like clear or TSA pre or anything like that. But then, so I'm coming up on the season where like I'll be going for January, February, and April. And but the thing is, like my flights, I always get 6 a.m. flights, and I'm out of St. Louis. I just walk right through. Now it's a different story coming home at MCO, right? That's kind of a nightmare sometimes. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to be a big shot and get clear TSA pre or something like that. But it's like I just started flying not long ago. It's just a big deal for me to be on a plane. That's a great tip. I mean, I'm glad you put that out there for everybody here.
Yeah, TSA is I think $85 for 5 years, whereas clear might be $150 for 2 years. So go to pre-check. But yeah, that was the concern flying back, that the wife can go through pre-check, but the teenager has to go through regular line. So when I called the airline, they were able to do that for us. That's what Southwest.
You know what,
I
though?
can't imagine it's any different.
With the teenager, though, I might just make him go through the regular line just to give him a dose of reality.
So you guys are sports guys. I got a proposed trade for you.
All right.
Would you, if you were Disney, or would you, if you were Universal, straight up trade The Simpsons with Marvel?
What would you do, Scott?
I'd rather keep. I want to have Marvel. So wherever I can have. I mean, I know The Simpsons has like such a great history, right? I mean, it's like I don't even know what year we're at. Are we like in our 30s now?
I'll say Simpsons was going on when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm 49.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, because I remember like there was a Simpsons thing in the comments.
But I want to have Marvel. I want to have Marvel.
But you already have Simpsons Land down there in Universal in Florida. So if you were Bob Iger, would you approach Universal about just trading or selling the rights to Universal for The Simpsons?
I think Marvel's way more lucrative, like financially, than The Simpsons. I would guess, because blockbusters for the movie, for box office purposes, and then the adjacent properties, you could sell merchandise and so forth and create attractions.
And I don't know if like teenagers these days, do they watch The Simpsons? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I have a daughter, like that's no interest to her, but maybe it still is popular with like the younger crowd. But I know like teenagers love Marvel, right? Like, so like I would do what I can to keep Marvel rights.
My 15-year-old binge watched The Simpsons over.
Okay, good to know.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, because it's on Disney Plus. Yeah. So I can get that.
To be honest, though, I mean, I'm just a purist, though. I don't want to see Marvel or The Simpsons in the theme parks. It's just, unless you make like a separate, almost like a separate theme park for, like, call it adjacent properties land or something. You know what I'm saying? Like Simpsons, Marvel. What else do we have? I mean, throw all these other, National Geographic, whatever you want. Throw that junk in there. I guess Star Wars would kind of be part of that, though, if you did that. I don't know. Because see, I'm a Star Wars fan, so I have no problem with Galaxy's Edge being in Hollywood Studios. I think it fits. I'm a hypocrite. I know. That's terrible.
Well, thanks for your time.
Chris, you said you're going down Friday. Are you staying on property? I don't know if I caught that, or where are you staying at?
The Dolphin.
Oh, nice.
Staying at the Dolphin with the deluxe resort view overlooking, I guess, the fireworks.
You're doing it right. Hey, go to the fountain while you're there. That place, and they have a peanut butter and jelly shake there that is awesome. It comes out and it's bright red. It looks strawberry, but it's peanut butter and jelly. Really
I'm a big fan of Il Molino there too. If you want to have a nice Italian meal, like it feels very signature, but not necessarily at signature prices. So that's a nice little spot if you're looking for a nice evening.
Great tip. Thank you.
Hey, Chris, we appreciate the call, and have an awesome trip. Give us a call when you get back, and happy holidays to you.
All right, you too.
Thank you,
guys.
All right, bye-bye. All right, we do have an announcement, though. I forgot to do this top of the show. Next week is going to be our last show of the year, the last call-in show, because of Christmas and New Year's, how they fall, and then Marathon Weekend. So next week, we're going to do all Christmas stories. So tell us your favorite Christmas gift as a kid, how you celebrate in your part of the world, what are some of the traditions, favorite Christmas cookies. Doesn't have to be about Disney next week. It's going to be all Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever your celebration. We're going to talk holiday traditions next week on the show, and then you can listen to it when you're driving to your destination for the holidays. All right, we have our next
holidays. Oh, I was just going to say with Chris, like leaving down on the Friday, the 16th, like looks like he's going to be right there, like right before like a few days of Christmas. That's going to be a fun trip.
Actually, a great time to go. That's a great time to go though, because a lot of people hold off like
after Christmas for for New Year's. Yeah,
he's nailing it. So Donald's got a question for you, Scott, but we have a caller on the line. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey,
Hello.
Mike and Scotty G. This is Sarah from Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, Sarah
Hey,
from
Sarah.
Madison. What's going on? Mallory's former cheer squad was up in the Dells this weekend competing at Kalahari. So we should have been there.
Very nice. I hope they got to avoid the snow because we had a fair amount on Friday.
They got caught going
Hopefully she
up.
made it
We saw
safely.
because we're still in the group with all because she's out on the team because of how crazy high school cheer got this year. But we're still in like the parent group, like they have all those, I forget what it's called. It's like an app. But we saw everybody traveling up through Illinois into Wisconsin and all the people that got caught in the snowstorm because we can't drive in
man.
it. So
That's rough timing.
It was a mess. No, so what's going on? Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, long time listener, first time caller,
Yay.
and happy anniversary to Scott and Elizabeth. Thanks to Elizabeth for letting us have Scott for the night so we can still have that open line.
Thank you, Sarah. She's okay with that. We had a nice lunch, and we're gonna go do something afterwards. I think we're gonna go to the post office and mail our Christmas cards. How romantic is that?
Oh, that's the best way to enjoy the anniversary.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I'd call in. I've been emailing with you, Scott, with Mike, with this week about my most recent trip over Wine and Dine.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I'd call in about my experience with when all your plans, your carefully made plans that you guys help us with on Be Our Guest, don't go quite as planned, and maybe something happens on your trip. Because unfortunately, I was registered for the challenge. Ran the 5K. It was awesome. And I was running the 10K, and halfway through, unfortunately, a stick got the better of me on an on-ramp. I went down and sprained my ankle and could not finish the 10K race or the challenge that weekend.
I actually remember you posted this on the Lizards page, right? I remember reading about this.
I did. Yeah, I did. And it was, wasn't the weekend we were thinking. I went for a girls trip with my best friend. And we had it all planned out, and it was going to be her first run Disney weekend. And we weren't really planning for that to happen, but it was a new experience for us, like to have an injury happen while at Disney. You hear about all the magic, and for the most part, it is magical, but sometimes things happen, and we were really well taken care of. So that was unfortunate, but I mean, the run crew, all the people who work at the races, they were awesome. Somebody stayed with me until I could get onto one of those party buses to the finish line to the med tent.
I see those in my as we get closer to marathon weekend, those buses become more prevalent in my dreams every night. They chase me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I'm going to get my first experience of that here very soon. Make a good podcast episode.
It's all research.
If it has to unfortunately ever happen to someone, know that they're so great. Like I got on, it was actually a van because I just missed the party bus of it apparently because we were getting kind of close to we were taking too much time in the character stuff. And so we were getting a little close to the balloon ladies there. So it was a party van, and the driver was like, "What kind of music do you want to listen to? Is 80s okay?" And he was like rocking out. It was really nice.
That's nice.
And they took me to the med tent. We picked up a few more people on the way. And so it was really nice to chat with other runners. And then we got off at the med tent, and they handed us our medals as they do. And man, they took such good care of me at the med tent. They were all so knowledgeable, so calming. They knew I wasn't in the best mood because I hadn't been able to finish the race, and they were really awesome. I really can't speak highly enough of it. And so they got me all patched up and onto the bus back to the resort.
That takes a special kind of person to be that driver, right? Because I've thought about this, and those runners like yourself have to be in such an emotional, very delicate state because some people might have expected this could have happened, but then you're going to have some runners that this came out of nowhere. They might have run 70 miles a week for the last year. And then, like you say, a stick gets you. Here's my question. And this is just me. Did you go back and get that stick? I'd have that stick hanging on a shelf. I'd have it bronzed. And I'd get revenge at that stick.
The funny thing about the stick. Okay. So here's the thing. First of all, they, at the med tent, they're like, what happened? Do you have a good story? And I was like, well, I didn't see the stick, but my best friend Renee saw it. She said she was so angry at that stick, she threw it into the bushes.
Good.
So
Okay,
I
at least somebody got
saw
some
it.
revenge on it. I was gonna say, like, you got to do something to the stick. I mean, this stick is the like villain. It needs to be burned. It
That's
needs to be
right.
broken. At least like something
But
on
honestly,
Instagram.
as far as I know, I tripped over my own feet. But she said there was a stick. I'm
No,
gonna
big
trust there
stick.
a
It was
stick.
a
It was
log.
a giant stick.
Yeah,
Someone just like
it was a
tossed it
stick.
out of nowhere.
No, we're with you. We're runners. It was a log. It wasn't even a stick.
Like, little did you
And,
know
you
this
know,
was a
it
hurdle
was-
race.
Yeah, exactly.
So then it was kind of the weekend wasn't over, and she still had the half marathon the next day. I couldn't walk. It was we had a Guardians boarding group already, and I was like, oh, are we gonna get to do this? I can't walk at all. And at the red tent they told me, like, don't try to walk on it, but you could get a wheelchair. So then we got to experience the parks with a wheelchair for the first time. So there were new experiences all around.
Ricky's been doing that too lately. Apparently, she told me that Brian's been pushing her around the parks in a wheelchair too. So we're getting all kinds of information on that. Actually, I was pushed from Tomorrowland to my car at Wilderness Lodge by my wife. That shows, speaking of love and anniversaries and stuff like that, that was definitely love, because it was July and it was hot, and I was bigger. I was way bigger back then, and she pushed me out the
It's a
boat dock.
workout.
Oh my God, I can't believe she could push me. Because there's that ramp at the Wilderness Lodge, like outside of outside of Roaring Fork, there by Territory Lounge. Like, she was working because I was sicker than a dog. But yeah, so what you learned, that everybody's very kind when you get in this kind of pickle that you're not expecting.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
overall, the trip was way, way different. You didn't get to complete the challenge. You got to complete the 5K. You got, halfway through the 10K, then everything kind of fell apart. The wheels came off. But it sounds like, even though everything was different, it was as good as could have been expected, kind of, for the situation, is what I kind of got out of the email.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, it was a little disappointing because, well, I got the 10K medal, although I'm not hanging it up on my wall until I can start running again. I'm still in a brace, so I'm not back to running speed yet. That will go on the wall once I earn it. And I couldn't make it to the start line of the half marathon. So they do have this clause where if you can cross the start line, you can get that medal. But because I couldn't physically get there, I couldn't get the half medal. So that was probably the biggest disappointment for the weekend. And I understand their policies. But it was one of those, like, oh man, it's a beautiful medal and I don't have it. But other than that, yeah, super magical. We were staying at Pop Century, and we weren't sure what we were going to do about, like, literally getting from the race bus stop to our room. And so Renee went to the front desk, and I don't know if they were supposed to do this, but she was inquiring about renting a wheelchair, and they said, oh, just take this one. They handed us a Hollywood Studios branded wheelchair, didn't take her name or our room number or anything. And they're like, use this for the extent of your stay. So that really felt like magic. Like, we then used that for the parks, and then we brought it back to the front desk at the end of our trip. And that was just really wonderful. I feel like that was really above and beyond what they needed to do.
That's how it should be, though. I mean, because you needed something. They have it, and it solves the problem. You're happy. You can go on with your vacation, which you've paid a lot for. You've waited a long time for. You're not exactly, this isn't what you're expecting, but at least you can go on and have some fun. Yeah. I'm glad you said this, because it, things happen. I mean, we all know as runners, I mean, stuff happens at Walt Disney World. God, I hate to bring this up before marathon weekend, though. But I mean, it is kind of good to know in the back. But in the back of your head, it is good to know, though, that, if the worst happens, you're still at Walt Disney World. There's a lot of people that are going to try to take care of you the best they can. They're going to try to make it as magical as possible. And, all's not lost. I mean, it's a good thing is there's always going to be another race weekend. There's going to be another medal to be earned. And, just make the best of it. It could happen to any of us. There could be sticks everywhere.
Sarah, I have a question.
My brain's on my date. Yeah.
Was there ever an option for, like, deferring? Like, I know you were already there for the weekend and you already, like, started half the challenge, but was there an option to defer like the half portion at least, like, to the next year, or was that never, like, discussed with Run Disney?
So I tried a couple ways of contacting Run Disney because I thought, well, let's just see what we can do, because I knew it was not going to be safe for me to try to get to the start line, because as you guys know, as runners, it's a really long way from the bus
it is.
to the start. So, and I was not in any condition. It was a really bad sprain.
And you haven't trained to be a chair athlete during all this time either.
So you one of those racing chairs.
Exactly. So I called and they weren't able to help me on the phone, which I expected. And they were like, put in a query on the Run Disney website for runner relations. So I did one there. And then my friend Renee went to go run the path, and she talked to runner relations there to see if, like, because really I was just like, could I stick to virtual? Like, I want to earn this. So it's not like I just want the medal. I knew the challenge medal was out, because you just can't do that if you don't do both of them. And they told her, like, she has to be physically at the start line, which we understood. And then when I got the response back from runner relations, they said, unfortunately, our policy is that if you're not present, there are no options for virtual. So they didn't really, I know sometimes it kind of just like maybe depends on the agent that you get. And she was really nice about it. And again, I understand their policies, but they didn't provide me with any options. So that was a bit of a bummer, kind of made it a little harder to take. But now my brain is on redemption. I got to get another Run Disney weekend out there. So we'll see. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I have to get back and get past that finish line again.
But that's how you got to look at it too. It's like, what, redemption, right? You got to have another chance, and you get a whole nother weekend out of this.
Yeah. So Sarah, can you do me a favor? Can you
made that Guardian? Yeah. Go ahead, Scott.
Could you do me a favor? Can you reach out to me on a private messenger? So I have the virtual half marathon, because I did the virtual, signed up for it, but I actually didn't do the virtual race, and I would love to give you that medal because of everything that happened to you.
Oh, Scott, that's too generous. I really appreciate that. That's really sweet. And you know what, Scott? I saw you at the post race party, because I wheeled my way to that party. I did go. Awesome. I did have that beautiful drink with the flashing ice cube in it. It was great. But I saw you from a distance. Couldn't flag you down. But,
he's fast,
nice
man.
He is quick. Even if I didn't get to see you on the course, it was good to see you at the party.
God,
that's awesome. Oh yeah, I wish we could have connected at the party. That's awesome. But I'm serious though. I signed up for the virtual. Okay. I never did it, and after hearing your story, you deserve that medal more than I did. You actually trained for it, so I really want to send you that medal. So connect with me after the show.
But you have to send Scott a stick and tell him it's the stick. Just between us, it doesn't have to be the real stick. Just go get one out of your backyard.
I appreciate that.
Mike, when I ship it, I was going to put a little twig in there, so you just ruined it. No.
And I think the best news of all is that we did make it to that Guardian sporting group just in time. So I got to experience the queue in a wheelchair. So there's that.
There you go. That's you made the best of it. I mean, we're smiling about it. It wasn't a great, definitely wasn't what you're expecting. But the thing is, you're going to get another race weekend out of this. And that's the good thing. You get another fun weekend out at Walt Disney World. And that's what matters.
Yes. And I hope that you guys and all of the Wizards have a really great marathon weekend. I can't go to this one, but I'm so excited to see all the pictures, see all the smiles, and you guys are going to have a blast.
There'll be some smiles. There's going to be some ugly pictures in there for me, but we'll see.
It's mostly going to be pain for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. About 4 weeks from right now, there's going to be a lot of pain in this body.
But yeah, Citrico's right now, though, so that's going to be nice. So.
I'll still be in pain. Doesn't matter.
Oh, nice. Well, and just wait. You'll have that margarita in your hand, and that'll change everything. That'll be great.
I'll need a few. It's going to be, oh, man. I don't even think about how much pain this is going to be this year. Anyway,
Mike's going to need a wheelchair, not because of your reason, Sarah, just because he's had too many margaritas and can't walk.
Yeah, well, because anything to kill the knee pain. Hey, great call though, because that's reassuring for everybody, and it's a story of victory, really. I mean, you took a bad situation and made the most of it, and it is inspiring to hear that you saved a weekend, which is good to hear. So thanks for sharing with us.
Well, I think thank you, and thank you guys for taking the time. It's nice to actually finally call in, and I really appreciate what you all do. It's one of my favorite times of the week is when I get to sit down multiple times a week and listen to Be Our Guest podcast. So thank you all for what you do.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. And hey, give us a call next weekend. We're going to talk about holiday traditions. That'd be kind of fun. Just a little bit different show next Sunday night.
Perfect. Sounds good. You guys have a wonderful night.
All right. You too. Thanks again. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.
Take care.
All right, 407-413-9395 is very kind of you, Scott. Very nice.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do it. I mean, I like Joe Gardner, but I got him on the shirt, man. Like after hearing Sarah's story, like she needs that medal, you know. I don't need it.
There you go. Joe Gardner, though, he's like your cousin or something.
Yeah. Actually, I have an uncle named Joe Gardner.
I was gonna say, I don't know, uncle, cousin.
I'm sure there's someone named Joe in the family.
I'm sure there is. That's a pretty safe bet. I was at a wedding yesterday. They had the photographer for sure. She thought my name was Bob because she's like guy in the white sweater. Because I was like, she kept wanting me to get so close to my brother-in-law. I'm like, dude, we're so close already. She's like, just get a little closer. I'm like, we're legally married in like 7 states right now. Like if I get any closer, it's gonna be 12.
That happened to me and my brother, like on a flume ride like years ago. Like it might have been like in Canada or something, but like we had the whole flume to ourselves and there was like these dividers and they had me like sit like right behind him, like super close and super tight. And then he's like, Scott, just stand up and switch seats once the ride goes. So I did, and we got yelled at. Got so much trouble. That's what a big brother like will do to you. Like he'll get you in trouble. But I know what you're saying though. Like sometimes like, I'm pretty close. There's no room left.
We were so close. I'm like, seriously, like it's his name's Joe. It's my brother-in-law Joe. He's the father of the group. And I'm just like, and she's like, what's your name in the white sweater? I'm like, Bob. And so like, you know, my whole family, it's all my in-laws. They're all there. They're like, oh no. She's like, Bob, you need to get closer. I'm
based on this wedding, based, you know, like you were talking about cowboy boots and stuff like that. You should have said your name was Jimmy Bob.
I should have. I was just like, I was over it. I was like, take the picture and let's go. Let's go over to the American Legion Hall and have our muscatoli. Let's roll. That's how you do it here. John's got a question here. He says, we're booked at the Polynesian for the end of April for Cheer Worlds. There's a ton of world competitions today, by the way. I was watching on Varsity All-Star. Let's see. Where's one place we need to eat at the resort? Never stayed there before. Oh my gosh. Kona, I say. But you probably say Ohana.
No, I know. I mean, Ohana would be number 3 on my list. So you got Captain Cook's, the counter service, Kona, and Ohana, and there's the pineapple lanai too, which you definitely got to stop for a snack if you like Dole Whip. But Kona for me all day. Ohana I just think is like overrated, you know, and like Captain Cook's never really does anything for me.
I mean, Kona's good. It's expensive though, and it's like it's a lot of work to get in.
Speaking of that though, Mike, with the new DVC tower that's being built, you know, there's got to be another restaurant coming, right? Like I don't think they've officially announced that, but there has to be if there's going to be that many guests.
Yeah, 100%. There's got to be a restaurant in that place. There's got to be another pool too, I'd hope.
I mean, we kind of lost one in a way when you think about the luau, right? I mean, we lost a restaurant because of the tower, so they got to bring something back.
You never did a luau, did you?
No, we did it together.
Oh yeah. I was talking to Ricky.
It was over Marathon Weekend. It was like us and the Foresters. I remember like Emily and Mallory had like a matching dress on or something.
Yep. I love the luau. We did it 3 times. I loved it. I thought it was. I mean, I know it was like cheesy, but I've never been to Hawaii, so.
So after like doing Hoop-de-Doo, like Hoop-de-Doo is so much better. like I'm not gonna miss the luau too much, knowing that we got Hoop-de-Doo still around.
I just like the feel of the luau though, because you're kind of outside. Like it was just, it felt very like Brady Bunch. Like
it was a great option to have
in the 70s. It was very
in the food. And I loved like being at the Polynesian and seeing people like dress for the luau, like just being like a day, just being a guest at the resort and seeing everyone come from different parts of the property, like all dressed for the luau. That was like really fun.
With their lays on and their flowery dresses, and the guys, beach shirts. And yeah,
that was fun for me just to see like be on the beach and watch people at the luau was fun.
100% agree there. Carol says, "Hey Mike and Scott, just back from the very merry Christmas party. I think it was overbooked, but we had fun. Gingerbread cookies and eggnog were the best. Do you agree, Scott?"
So. Eggnog is not really my thing.
I think I've only had it like once in my life because it just like to drink egg just sounds disgusting.
Yeah,
I can't get past that.
I know. So my favorite cookie spot was at it's like in Liberty Square. Like where's that place? Columbia Harbor House, I believe it was. Had my favorite cookie, and then Tomorrowland, like where you get the pretzel or whatever. That had a nice cookie. Pinocchio's like. Pinocchio's, what is it called? Pinocchio Village House? Is that what it's called? I can't remember.
Pinocchio's Village House.
That honestly, Mike, like all the cookies were great. We were talking about that in the pre-show about Cheryl's cookies because they're the ones.
I powered up by eating one of those right before the show.
and I loved them. Like that was a big hit. I remember we were with our friend Beth, and the three of us did the Space Mountain, the Christmas overlay, which I thought that was awesome. By the way, I sent you a video of that, Mike, with like the green and red. Like
That is awesome.
yeah, it was super cool. And our friend Beth just went on a cookie hunt while we were in line for Space Mountain, which I thought was awesome. Like, well, I'm just gonna gather up more cookies. But it was I was really impressed by the cookie offerings.
Yeah, those cookies are not cheap. So hey, you can make your money back in Cheryl's cookies. And they're so good.
So good. The one at Columbia Harbor House, I can't remember exactly what it was, but man, that one was my favorite. It was so good.
Brooke's on the line, but hang on, Brooke. Important question. Were they individually wrapped at the party too?
Yes, they were. So I was telling you, like, I still have some like in the pantry.
That's right.
I mean, they're probably getting close to expiration now. So after this, I think we're gonna have an anniversary like cookie, maybe. But
who cares, dude? I eat Christmas cookies till Valentine's Day. It doesn't take it. I mean, if you're gonna go, it's a good way to die.
Right.
All right, Brooke's on the line out in Pennsylvania. Brooke, what's going on? Happy Sunday night.
Hi guys, how are you?
Doing great. What about you?
Good. I'm calling two things. One, I was listening to the time-saving strategies episode earlier today, and I didn't finish it. But the one thing that I thought of was if you have kids, and even if they're not like stroller kids, like even if they're like 8, like get a stroller because like rent one, borrow one, whatever, because you can use it as like a little home base when you're in the parks, and you can have water and snacks, and like you can leave it there, and it just saves time because you don't have to run to quick service. You don't have to run to like a store to get something. Like you just kind of, you have like a little, like a home base with you when you're in the park. Even if you're not like pushing around everywhere, it just saves time to like have more stuff than you think you do, than you think you need when you have kids.
Okay,
so
two things about that, because you're exactly right. Two things. When your kids are getting almost too old to need a stroller, still bring one for like that next like 1 year. And here's what we used to do.
Exactly.
We'd bring the stroller and leave it right in the front of the park. Like, so when we went to the Magic Kingdom, we always had this umbrella stroller. We'd park it over by the photo center, wherever, by Tony's. And we'd just leave it there because later on in the day, if Mallory got tired, it was at least in the park. We could go get it and use it. But also when you mentioned that about your home base, that first trip where your kid is now too old to have a stroller, and you don't take a stroller, you're like lost because you're used to having that crutch of like, we can throw all the junk like in the stroller, because you can bring everything. You can bring the kitchen sink when you have a stroller, and then all of a sudden you don't have a stroller. You're like, oh man, where am I going to put that? I got to carry all this stuff now. So then you become the backpack Sherpa after that. Like you go through phases, right?
Next time I go, I'm going to be really sad because we rented one last year and she was 8. And now she really can't go on the stroller, and we'll probably go next year with her. So I'll be missing that stroller next year.
Yeah, it's so weird because you're like, oh, well, just throw that junk under. Because, like if you have that big basket under the stroller, you just throw everything under it, until you got to get on the bus.
I would always, I'm a person who always carries a water bottle with me, like not a plastic one, but like a metal one. But when I'm at Disney, I do Amazon ship water to my hotel room. And then I put like 2 or 3 liters of water in the bottom of my stroller, and I cover them with a bag, and I have them there all day. And it just like saves so much money and time to like always have water with you.
You are
especially
smart.
when it's just like a hot season.
That's how you do it. Because I mean, seriously, that's probably save you $20 at least a day, at least.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I never buy drinks.
No.
In Disney. I mean, unless it's like a fun drink, but you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because if you save money on the stupid drinks, you can have more fun drinks.
Yeah.
That's what you got to look at.
Exactly.
So what was your other tip?
Exactly. No, that was my only like good tip. I think. Yeah, that's it. And I wanted to say that next weekend I'm not going to call in because next Sunday is actually the first night of Hanukkah.
Oh,
so
happy
I will
Hanukkah.
be calling in, but wish everyone who's celebrating Hanukkah, wishing you a happy Hanukkah a week early.
Okay, so we have a lot of friends that celebrate. We have good friends, Shine Golds that celebrate. So tell us, like, because again, I don't celebrate Hanukkah, but I do have friends. What's a celebration in the past, like a story that you think our listeners would find very interesting or very just something, because I don't know much about the celebration, like traditional stuff. Like, do you have a story you'd like to share just to get us in the mood for next week?
Well, just a new tradition for us is we have my nieces over and some other cousins who don't celebrate Hanukkah, but they have come over in recent years and they join us, and I make latkes and roast chicken, and we have donuts, which are a traditional dessert to celebrate for Hanukkah. And all the kids play dreidel, and I give them little gifts. And that's just, I mean, it's not a very large, or very like, it's not the most important Jewish holiday. I think because of its proximity to Christmas, it's a big deal for kids. But it's just a fun time to gather with family, and that's what we'll be doing next Sunday.
And that is it, right? It's just getting together with those you love and being able to spend time together
absolutely.
and eat good.
And eating fried food.
Did you say
fried food?
You said
so
donuts?
You can't complain. Yes, because it's a celebration of light. And there's a story and a tradition where you celebrate having oil. It was the Jews were like held up in a temple, and there was a war going on, and it was basically like a siege situation, and they had enough oil for one night, but there's a miracle, and the oil lasted them 8 nights. So we celebrate oil. So we have fried potato pancakes, which we call latkes, and we have donuts and other oily things.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, exactly. Like a holiday that celebrates fried food.
Nothing wrong with that.
Or just
well, I'm so glad you brought that
I'm
glad you brought that to our attention, though, so we know we can wish everybody a happy Hanukkah next Sunday night. And we got this out here. That's a cool celebration that you're gonna get together with everybody and celebrate the first. It's called Festival of Light, right? Next Sunday night.
Yeah, Hanukkah Festival. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. Well, hey, Brooke, thanks for calling in. I hope you have we'll miss you next Sunday, but hope you have a great celebration. Start to the celebration with your friends and family.
Yeah, happy early Hanukkah, Brooke.
All right, well, you take care. We'll talk to you soon.
January.
Okay, we'll see you in January. Have a good one. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
That's awesome. Donuts. I thought she said donuts. I'm like, donuts.
Yeah, you're like, I could just see like your eyes like perk up like when she said that. Like, ooh, donuts.
Like we need to do Christmas donuts or something. Like, I mean, trust me, we don't slack on the food at my in-laws. We have good food, but we don't have donuts.
Cinnamon rolls. That's what we do. We like cinnamon rolls
on Christmas morning. Is that what you guys do?
Yeah,
we do cinnamon rolls, but we also do biscuits and gravy. I mean, we're from Missouri, that's my favorite food. All right, 407-413-9395, 407-413-9395. Ooh, that snuck up on me there. So we have later on this week too, this coming week, we have the 2020, can you believe this? 2024 Disney Cruise Line itineraries are released. Early 2024, but this season it's pretty much the same old cruises, Caribbean, Bahamas, all those places. So not really like exotic locations for early 2024, but those bookings will become available. Exciting times,
man. I love cruising, man. Cruising's got, like, when I saw that they announced that for 2024, I know we got the cruise coming out in 2023. I was like, man, like, I've always wanted to do like one of those like Castaway Key like challenges tied to a marathon, like, right. Like how awesome would it be to do doping and then take a cruise right afterwards? Like,
it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome. But yesterday my wife asked me, so when are you coming home from marathon weekend? So if I get on a ship,
that's the problem. Like, because it's so early in the year, like I've blown so much time. I know you always think like I got like unlimited bank of time off, but I really don't. But
I think you do. I think you just changed jobs or something.
The other problem is I don't have an unlimited supply of funds. Like, this is not going to be cheap to take a cruise afterwards.
I hear you.
If Bob Iger could just gift me one, that would be awesome.
Come on, man. We're helping you out all the time, talking about your product.
Exactly.
All right, we have our next call. Hey, who's joining us?
Hi, this is Lori from Texas.
Hey, Lori, how's it going down in Texas tonight?
It's going good.
Thanks for calling in.
I just got back today from Disney World and had a great time. So I wanted to come and give a little report.
Yeah, please.
About it.
Yeah, tell us some highlights. That'd be awesome.
Well, I had sent a question probably a couple of weeks ago about surprising my daughter because it was a surprise. I'd never been during Christmas, and so it went great. I wrapped up a couple of the Christmas Minnie and Mickey plushes and gave them to her. She's 9, so when she got stuffed animals, she wasn't terribly excited until I added that. Oh, and by the way, we're going to Disney World. So,
I love it.
The classic response where she didn't believe it, and then it became very excited, and then that turned into emotional tears. And I'm like, oh, this is the best.
Yes, that is why we do what we do, right there. That's why parents work hard for their kids.
True. And then we added to the surprise because when we got there, my sister and her family came in, and we didn't tell them that her cousins were going to be there as well. So they got to meet outside of Hollywood and Vine, and we all went to a character meal together. And they had a blast going and doing all the Christmas stuff. But I had a moment where it will be a highlight for me from this point forward, because we went and did, several parks in a day. And then we ended with Fantasmic, and we've never seen it before. And I'm sitting there, and we're waiting for it to start. And I look behind me, and Josh Gad, the voice of Olaf, was sitting behind me.
Oh my gosh!
No way! That's awesome.
I was like, trying to figure out how do I respond. I'm like, I got really stiff, and I'm like trying to text my sister. Do I ask for an autograph? I'm like trying to find my daughter's autographed book. And do I ask for a picture? And
I'd totally be taking a selfie.
I was eavesdropping.
I
was eavesdropping, and he was asking who he was with for some hand sanitizer. I'm like digging through my bag and like offering it to him. So he used my hand sanitizer, and I will probably never throw it away.
There you go. You gave Olaf hand sanitizer. Holy cow!
Amazing.
He gave it back, and then he offered to take a picture with me. So I was like, "Oh, I think my trip is complete. I can go home now."
So did you? Here's the thing. I would think I would recognize him by his voice, because he has a super distinctive voice. Is that how you recognized him initially, or did you just see him? Like, did you see him first, or?
So I turned around and I saw him, but then he started talking. I'm like, that really is him. I was like, Olaf is sitting behind me.
Yeah, because
he's doing the candlelight for processional.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
The last little bit. And then we went to that, and we had never been, and that was amazing. And we decided to leave the park going to Beach Club to get a lift from there back to the resort during the fireworks. And there he was again. I guess he was staying at Beach Club because we were standing outside, and they roll up and he gets out. I'm like, this is amazing. I love Disney World.
He's like, you got to quit following me around. This is two different locations.
No, I think it's the other way around. Like, Josh is following Lori around. Lori's a VIP. Like, that's what it is. Yeah.
He needed more hand sanitizer after the procession.
I was like throwing it here. I was like, did you need it this time? But that made the trip a blast for me.
That's so cool.
It's almost as cool as seeing Pam Forrester in the parks. I mean, almost, Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
That was the highlights for me of the trip, but I just wanted to share. But
that is super cool. So, I mean, that's great meeting, a celebrity in the parks. But I mean, your kid getting to be down there with her cousins, and like, what was the family memory? I mean, I guess probably meeting up there outside of Hollywood and Vine. That was probably all kinds of screaming and hugging and all that kind of stuff. But was there any like certain thing that happened later on that was kind of cool?
They had we did all kinds of them going on rides together, and wanting to. They had never been in the parks in that kind of situation before together, and so it was fun seeing their excitement and wanting them to do it. Seeing them do the Tower of Terror together was very interesting. They're both 9, and so they had very different responses to it. But seeing how excited they were, interacting with the characters there, it was just that made our Christmas for it. So it was very special.
We'll talk about that for decades. It's one of those things, like just hanging out with your cousins in Texas or in the real world is awesome. But it's like once in a lifetime to get to hang out with your cousins at a place like Walt Disney World. That's so cool. Well, I appreciate you calling in, and man, Josh Gad, right there in front of you. Now, did you guys do the wave while you're waiting for Fantasmic? Did it happen? Did everybody wave?
It happened.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, yeah, good, because you have not been to Fantasmic unless you did the pre-show wave, because that it must happen. Did Josh Gad do the wave? Was he part of that? Or was he?
I refused to look. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give you your privacy now. I'm not gonna be that person, hopefully.
No, I'm sure Olaf
have hand sanitizers, and I'll give you some privacy.
That's pretty. So I guess, did he have handlers with him, or was he just like right in the middle of the crowd there?
No, it was towards the back. They were in the very back towards the end, and I could see that they had some tour guys
Yeah.
with them, or standing back behind. When we got up to leave, they were gone. So I was like, they snuck out at some point, but
Yep.
they weren't a part of the crowd.
They're good at that.
He melted. You know, he got the sanitizer, and he was like,
Exactly.
he's like, sanitizer is worth melting for.
Yeah, totally. He's like, yes, I'll melt for my friends at Phantasmic.
Yeah.
Well, that's so cool, and it's good to hear that he's a good guy, because I've heard that he is a huge Disney fan. I mean, he listens to like Jim and Len and talks to them, and yeah, that's good to hear. And I'm glad that most importantly, I'm glad your family had a great trip and that your daughter. I mean, wow, what a great Christmas gift, and early. I mean, shoot, we're 2 weeks out as we're recording.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid as much crowd as I can.
Smart.
It was still very crowded, but it wasn't too bad.
Well, that's perfect. Hey, thanks for making our the show way better with this great story, and have a great holiday season. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Take care, Lori.
All right,
Mike, did you know that I ran into a celebrity at a Wine and Dine? I don't know if I told you this, but I ran into Brittany from Big Brother.
Shut up, Brittany! Like Brittany from Texas?
No, she's from
blonde
Buffalo.
Brittany?
She was she was like in a couple seasons ago. Like she was on I think she was on the Cookout season, but I'll send you a photo. But she's like a big like Run Disney, like she's like been on this weight loss journey, so she's been doing like every Run Disney event basically. So I saw her waiting in line for the party, and like no one was talking to her, and I recognized her, so I was like, "Are you Brittany from Big Brother?" She's like, and then she got all excited. She gave me a hug, and we took a selfie, and we talked for like 10 minutes while we're waiting to get into the party. It's awesome.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
You know, well, like I say, there's somebody that lives in Orlando that's famous from Big Brother that's always in Epcot, but I'm not saying his name because it's controversial. But yeah, that's cool. It is funny when you see celebrities.
I know who you're gonna say. Yeah.
His first name's Evil.
Yeah.
But it's not spelled EVIL. Yeah, it's just fun when you see people, because you'll see a lot of reality stars down there. You know, it's actually this weekend would have been a good time to see him, because there was a huge fundraiser at Give Kids the World it's called Hearts of Reality, and all the reality, like Amazing Race, Big Brother, Survivor, Challenge people, they go down to the village and raise money for Give Kids the World. They raised over $460,000 this week.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. So
we're raising money. We're at $615 though for our mini golf. Yeah.
Yeah. So real quick, when's that happening? Because we're getting to the end of the show here, just so people know. So
so the mini golf, I mean, I posted it on the Lizard group, so everyone that's going to participate knows about it. Unfortunately, we had you know, Mike, working with Disney can be a challenge sometimes. So we had we're planning on 12:30 due to how they do their system. We had to start at 10:30, which I think will be kind of good in a way. You know, you can still do that early. You can still get a counter service or a quick breakfast. And then like we're going to hang out afterwards. But if you don't want to, you still have like a whole day basically afterwards. Right. So I think that'll work out really nice. But yeah, I wrote a really long like sports article and I shared it. It's on the Lizard page.
You got to read it. It's I was cracking up.
It's about a 4 to 5 minute read. I put some effort into it.
It's pretty long. That's good.
But yeah, so we're all set there. But you know, we're raising money obviously for Give Kids the World with this. So we're at $615. I think later on this week I'm going to make the donation, because we got 100% corporate match. So we're going to be able to double it. So if you still want to contribute, just let me know, and your donation will be doubled basically, because we got a big range of a corporate match. So yeah, come on, do it. And it's going to be on behalf of the podcast. And that's just what we do, right, Mike? We just love giving back, you know, and raising money for Give Kids the World.
We love getting together with our friends down there at our favorite place. And also when we can help out, you know, the folks Give Kids the World, we're always going to do that every single time. And this is an opportunity to putt and raise some money. It's going to be fun. And I'm going to win. I mean, I said that on the post.
I said this to Neil the other day. I was like, God, we just need the weather to hold up. Like,
I know.
Like,
seriously.
Like we got it like really well set, you know, like all the groups, you know, like everyone's excited. We got the donation that's about to be made. The worst thing that can happen is a awful storm. So let's knock on wood.
That GIF or whatever, like, the bad stuff isn't coming for a little bit.
Yeah, I said that to Neil the other day, actually. Yeah.
Like just like lightning, with your slicker on and everything. Oh my God, that's exactly what's going to happen.
But I'm going to win though.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, well, bring it. bring it, buddy.
I'm gonna actually like ship my putter, my actual like putter that I use.
You need to, somebody needs to roll in with a head cover on their putter, and it's like you're disqualified.
I'm gonna buy one at the pro shop, like at at the Magnolia or something before the round.
Totally should. Okay, real quick though, we have a couple questions. Logan under Beverly's account earlier was asking, what do you think is your very favorite memory during your marathons? Mine is just the people I run with and the memories I make with those folks. Like I ran the Dopey with Scott and Paige. That was my favorite one ever because we just hung out for the weekend and crossing the line, margarita in hand with my friends and, all those memories. Awesome. Like that's it for me. So what's your favorite memory?
So tough. So many. I mean, every marathon has like a great story behind it, right? I mean, you're out there for me these days it's like 7 hours. The first couple of years it was like 5 hours, but you're out there forever. There's so many great memories. But I'm just for today's purpose, this isn't necessarily my all-time favorite. I'm gonna go to my first one. My good buddy to my left here said, "Hey, how about we run together? Like I want to, you didn't necessarily need to coach me, but you were like, because you did it the year before, it was your first full and you were doing the Dopey that year for your first Dopey. So we ran the marathon Sunday together. You were kind of telling me like, okay, like we got this part coming up. You're like this is going to be the toughest stretch or whatever. You and I just like hung out and talked for like 5 hours, basically like doing the marathon. Fun. And like, that made it like pain-free, made it so much fun. But then, we got our margaritas, we're pumped, we're getting close to the end. And then I see my two girls like under Spaceship Earth, like cheering me on. I lost it. Like your family was there. The Foresters were there. Like we're like all like really close, this is like one big
we're
family.
All like just family. Yeah.
Just seeing like the big family huddled like with their signs for us under Spaceship Earth, man, I lost it. And that's one of my all-time favorite memories.
That's it's exactly it. I mean, I remember that. It was just, it was like a tear fest, a hug fest, because you are emotionally spent. Like, you are raw at that point. Like they could tell you, they could read like names out of the phone book and you would cry at that point. Right. Like, like somebody shows you a sign and it's your kid or it's your wife or your husband or your, just good friends that are, because they've been standing out there. At this point, you don't know that they've gone to Kona for breakfast and had,
I did not know that at that point. Yeah.
Then you get mad, but you didn't know this at the time. So you think they're being self-sacrificial. They've been out there since 3 o'clock in the morning. No, they've been at Kona, but it's awesome. And that is one of the greatest memories. So, I'm glad you asked that, Logan. So, and again, that leads us into, no more live call-in shows until after marathon weekend. Of course, we'll have the podcast, so don't worry about that. We'll have those on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And we'll have the Christmas, live from the BOGP studios. This year, it'll be all 4 of us on that show. So Pam will be there, Ricky, Scott, and myself, where we exchange our virtual gifts in the BOGP studios, the new studios this year. So we'll be doing that here in a week or so. And but next Sunday night, we need you here because again, we could, if there's any crazy Disney news, of course we could talk about that. But more importantly, I'd kind of like to talk about, just a Christmas or a holiday special. Make it about your favorite gift when you're a kid. Did you get a Fisher Price record player that, I remember getting mine and look, I'm a podcaster now. Like I never gave up Mr. Microphone. I loved it. Like it's one of those things. I love music. I love all that kind of stuff. The Huffy bike that was under the tree when I was like 8, the Atari 2600, that kind of stuff. Or, how do you celebrate? Like Brooke talked about her celebration. I love hearing that. And, my goal is that you could take that special show with you in the car as maybe you travel to grandparents' house or, across the country, driving over to aunt and uncle's house for your celebration. Just something that's just the whole family can listen to. You can hear about other people's traditions and memories, and then, maybe share with your family in the car as you listen together. It'd be kind of the goal for that. So we might go maybe 90 minutes next week. We'll see. We'll see how things go. If it's coming in, we'll go because I love that kind of stuff. It's kind of fun for me.
Yeah, we're all for it. Let's go.
All right. So we're going to get out of here. We'll have the shows this week. So join us Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Check them out over at themagicforless.com for all your Disney trip planning needs. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons. You make all these shows possible at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. And our patrons get that bonus show called Mike in the Midwest every week. So again, join us, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give Scott a follow on social media. He's at Epscott, EPSCOT, Instagram and Twitter. I'm at BeOurGuestMike. Give me a follow on Instagram and Twitter as well. Would love to talk to you this week. And of course, join us next Sunday night. Facebook and YouTube is the place. 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central is the time. And we'll see you there. All right, we're going to get out of here. Hope you have a great week. For Scott, I'm Mike. Wishing you an awesome Sunday night. or a great Thursday here on the feed. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Boom. Good
Boom.
show.
That's a good episode. Good calls.
Yep, that was really good calls tonight. Oh man, it's so hot in here.
Dude, I got like 3 shirts on. I'm like burning.
Man, because I closed the door and it gets super hot in here when I close the door.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna duck out so I can edit this thing up.
Okay. All right.
Phil.
All right. Let me know if you need me tomorrow.
I probably will, so I'll let you know.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
See you, everybody.
See
All
you.
right.
Bye.